Thank you so much for helping me ground in this space. It's been a day that I think a lot of organizers live in, where we went to bed really late last night because we were printing off programs and putting information in folders and making sure the food was prepped and ready, and then loading everything in cars to make sure that we could unload it at 6:45 in the morning, and then running around because we really love our community and we deeply love creating spaces for transformation and conversation and believe in the power of organizing people. And that's the sort of day that a lot of people live, in addition to figuring out how to pay the rents, how to get to a doctor or a dentist and how to pay for that, how to buy food, how to get another job to make up for whatever job is a seasonal job that may not last till the next job, how to prepare to pay Uncle Sam even though we don't want to. Might be thinking about not paying Uncle Sam. For real. And then still figuring out how to give your whole self to the work that you really care about, which is getting people in rooms together, or getting people on the streets together, and getting people to have discussions about smashing patriarchy, or uprooting white supremacy, or how do we think about the difference between electoral politics and real power? How do we build real community-based power? How do we build accountable relationships? And then giving energy to those conversations. And that is a grind. And it's hard to give yourself fully to that really important transformational work when you don't know what your housing situation is going to look like, whether or not there's going to be food to eat. I have a question for y'all. Can y'all think of an organizer that you know who lives that life? Can you raise your hand? Are any of y'all, and be honest with yourself, are any of y'all those organizers in this room? What inspires me about For the People, cleverly also FTP, building their expertise to help us draw closer to our humanity. Because ultimately, that's what organizing is about. How do you get people to draw closer to their humanity and draw closer to what it means to live in a balanced way in all of creation? How do you make that happen? And it takes some expertise to be able to help folks think and build an analysis around why the earth matters and why our balance with the earth matters. To help, honestly, white folks have hard conversations about being white folks. That's not easy work. Not for anyone. To help black and brown folks who have maybe lived in a really powerless feeling situation for a long time find their empowerment and safe spaces to have hard conversations. It's work that takes a lot of time and energy. And when you can free someone up who's built the expertise to do that effectively, and to do that compassionately, and to do that with love, and ensure that they have at least enough resources to pay the rent, to see a doctor when they need to purchase food, we start to create a whole group of people who are able to commit their whole selves to that work. And I know we're not all going to do that. We're not all called to do that. And to be honest, capitalism kind of screws us all over. But there are people who are called to that, who are gifted in doing that work successfully. And for those of us who are not able to fully give ourselves to it, who do have capacities to support them in the ways they most need, organizations like FTP are creating a way for us to do that. The other thing that inspires me about this organization is the desire to create a space for true accountability. There are a lot of organizers in the world, and they don't all do it accountably. And to be transparent, unaccountable organizers sometimes do more damage than help. And by creating a place where organizers can be accountable to each other and accountable to the communities they represent, it means that we can start to do work that truly represents the voices of those pushed closest to the margins. It's my belief that those who have the most proximity to struggle need to have the most proximity to power. Accountability has to be in the room. But accountability doesn't happen if you don't have people who will call folks to the carpet. And FTP is willing to create a space where they will do that. We live in an age where patriarchy, sexual assault runs rampant in all of our communities, including our organizing communities, where women and trans folks and queer folks do not live in safe spaces. And we need an organization like FTP that's willing to say, we believe you. And not only do we believe you, but we're gonna work with you to make sure accountability becomes a reality. Because people say, I believe you a lot, and then they go like this. We need people who say, I believe you, turn and face people and say, I'm gonna join you in making accountability a reality. And FTP is saying they're willing to do that. The other thing that inspires me about this organization is their desire to see Black and brown folks, trans and queer folks, and women and Native people be at the center of organizing. I love my white family, but I also know that my white mother cannot be at the center of getting me my liberation. In fact, I actually have to be at the forefront ensuring her liberation happens. And so I say that to white folks with love, we have to support marginalized communities being at the forefront of ensuring that liberation for all truly happens. Because as I've been taught, those who know the most about marginalization and oppression actually have the solutions to how we uproot and end it. And if you have privilege and access to resources, it's actually your calling to ensure that you begin to equitably redistribute those resources that you may have gotten unfairly. Because let's be real, some people start ahead of the line, and some people are always chasing the line. My job is to make an ask to y'all. And I heard some of y'all clap for our campaign. The People's Party's campaign was only successful because people gave to it their energy, their bodies, and their resources. And to be transparent, there were people at the beginning who said, I don't think you'll be anything but a French candidate. Fast forward 3 months, and they're like, how can I give more? Well, sorry, the law said you can give 500, but you sure can volunteer. And they signed up real quick. I tell you that because I don't want FTP to have to prove itself before you're willing to invest in it. See, that's the problem with those of us who start grassroots organizations. We're always asked to prove ourselves before anyone will invest in us, but how can you prove yourself if no one will invest in you? When I talked on the phone with Zarna and Derek this last week, they were like, we would love to raise $10,000 this month. And I said, I would love to ask for $25,000 this month. And I am not somebody who asks for money. No joke. I will grind and eat top ramen until, I just do it. Sodium levels all high, changing colors. But I deeply believe in what this organization is going to do. It is going to free up folks who have the expertise, they have the drive, and they have the compassion to help us become more organized. How do you win in the face of fascism? You organize. How do you win in the face of fascism? People power. How do you get people power to the forefront? You build the power of communities, and that requires the expertise of skilled organizers who have the analysis and ability to help move us forward. And you have the opportunity tonight to invest in whatever way you can to help these organizers do their work and fully commit to it by not having to worry about their basic needs. And the most important way to do this is to be willing to give a consistent donation. I'm sure there are folks in this room who can give $200, $500 right now. What's actually more helpful is if you give $25, $50 a month. And you say, I'm going to commit to give this to this organization every month so organizers can count on this money to come. And y'all, I look at my own budget and I know for sure, now I may not go to Starbucks, but I sure do go to Cortona or Empire Espresso, because it's hard, 6:45 to right now, I need some coffee. But I'm cool giving up some coffee if it means folks like Zarna and Derek can do what they do for all of us without worry. So I'm asking y'all to think about where and how could you contribute on a monthly basis to make this very needed and important and necessary work happen. So this organization can do more than prove to you that they're effective, they can do their work without worry. So at your table captains, it is now your time. The time has come. If y'all can pull out your envelopes, these are hard, but I do want to say to y'all, the fact that you're even here for this organization in and of itself on Saturday night, we could have been a lot of places, is actually really beautiful. For your commitment to building a just world with each other and with this organization and the folks here. Thank you so much for even just investing your spirit and your time and your energy. That in and of itself does mean something, and so I honor you for that. Let's go down to the river to pray, studying about those good old days and to show the golden crown. Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, family, let's go down, don't you want to go down? Oh, family, let's go down to the river to pray. I can hear my auntie in the back of the chapel singing. My Baba leans over to me and she says, baby, let's go down to the river to pray. We make our way down the mountainside into the valley below. She says, understand how water works. How it starts in the sky, makes its way down the mountain, into the valley below. Understand the water will settle in the place where it is most needed. You must learn to settle in the place where you are most needed. Understand that your body is made mostly of water. So you have to learn to move like water over, around, or through a thing if you have to. Know that your water, body, and justice are one and the same thing. That justice is just us being just us. Without us, there is no justice. And just in case I'm not listening, she says, justice is just us being just us. Without us, there is no justice. Without us, there is no resistance. Without us, the system persists in its defiance, dividing us further from the divinity that is our unity with each other. Dividing us further from the divinity that is our unity with our mother. That's when cash rules everything around me as the man is still auctioning off stock of my body, steadily blocking these attempts to break free. Understand there can be no free trade agreements when black and brown bodies are sold as stocks and bonds and sell out as politicians are building their wealth on these black and brown bodies. Marketed, targeted, murdered extrajudiciously with impunity, not just locally, but globally, by the same hands that stole my people from our homelands and brought us to someone else's homelands and fed us to these homelands. And then they'll try to feed us back our homelands overprocessed and overpriced till we become underfed. But I come from a Brazilian people, a still living people, a still here people in the land of the brave, the home of the slave. Shit, I keep getting that wrong. The land of the free, the home of the braves. Did anyone notice that we made them invisible amongst us? How we deny their stories, even on native land. Did anyone notice how the rivers run red around us? Did anyone ask? Nah. We don't ask so they don't have to tell the truth. But I'll tell you the truth. It's these politics, many ticks, blood-sucking politicians where the only thing better than their fangs is their blood-stained hands. Look at them, elbow deep in the cookie jar. We'll call that capitalism. Who pays the toll for this feudalism while the rest of us race to the bottom in chains and body bags and 10% rise to the top? They'll get us to believe that you'll never have enough. You'll never be enough. There is not enough, but you'll see enough is enough, 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 is enough. When we say it's enough, there's always been enough. We don't have to live in this scarcity. Baba asked me to look down into the water, and she says, "What do you see?" I think it's a trick question. I see myself. That's right, you see yourself. Understand that water, you, justice, and love are one and the same thing. That you must first learn to love yourself before justice can be true, because justice is what love looks like in public. So if justice is to be just us being just us, well, you better learn to love yourself, baby. You better learn to love like water. Understand how water moves. It will make its way over, around, or through a thing if it has to. Thank you all.